Cringe Show. Cringe Show.
I always forget how to start the episode.
Dude, I love that intro more than anything in the world. Literally, it's my favorite.
It's not bad. It's grown on me quite a bit.
You did a great job with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's I don't know if we'll ever get rid of that.
No.
We could probably get a new logo, but the intro, it's grown on me quite a bit.
The intro stays. Look, it has heart. Much like our show, Jeff, it has heart. I can hear the effort.
it's plucky, just like these dads. So hey, this episode, Jeremiah got to pick the video that we're going to be watching and tearing apart. So if you don't like it, blame him.
All on me. Look, I get pulled down different rabbit holes of YouTube every now and then. And there's sometimes that, like, look, we don't get political on this show. We don't do any of that nonsense. But there's certain things that just hit close to home, right? And I've said before, like, I'm a sales guy. I've been in sales my entire life. And there's an art to sales and understanding the needs that you need to match in order to sell something. But one of the things that has always driven me crazy is the people who falsely promise things to people in a vulnerable situation. And that's kind of how this rabbit hole got to us today in talking about psychics and mediums and the whole nonsense of it all. Look, from the outside looking in, I can appreciate it. It's a great show. You're an actor, Jeff. You love that, right? Until people actually get hurt. And that's where that bullshit needs to be called out 1,000% of the time. So
yeah, I have an interesting toe in the water in the paranormal world, because on my podcast, I talked to a guy, Bob Ginsberg, who runs a foundation that certifies mediums, and very few pass.
I'm sure.
But he has a clinical setting where he can test them in a scientific manner.
Okay.
I don't know what to believe and not to believe, but I do think most of the people are either delusional or just hucksters, just frauds.
So based on what you said, I love that. I'm going to have to go back and check that out. There's so many episodes of the Jeff Macolino podcast I have to, but because there should be some sort of qualifier. Because if you see this in a grand scale, that's what's missing. I can't tell you that I'm a non-believer. I totally believe that there may be ghosts or there are extraterrestrials or all of these other things. And I think that could exist. But what I do know is that a whole lot of scam artists find that angle and they work it. And it's so, like, once you see all that, it makes it hard to believe the real. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's where I come from on this. And I think this all started with, I told you about a guy that I absolutely love. If none of you have checked it out, James Randi, the amazing Randy, has my heart. This is a guy who grew up like idolizing Houdini and everything else. And he actually set out a foundation and created it that it was sometime in the 80s that he would put up $1 million for anyone who could scientifically prove that they had disability. And so he would set up tests for these mediums, these psychics, these, what do you call the people who move shit or bend it?
Telepaths or something.
Yeah. All that. He would set these up. And if you could actually prove it, you would have $1 million. And the whole idea was, come prove it to me. And unfortunately, it just ends up to a ton of people being exposed. And it's one of those things where if you've experienced loss in your life, Jeff, like we all have, you become vulnerable. And there are times that you just look for answers. It doesn't even matter what the answer is. You just want something to make you feel better. And it infuriates me that there is a pocket of people who take advantage of that. We've heard the old saying of there's a special level in hell. There's a special place in hell for these kind of people, man. Be it televangelists or psychics or anything else that make people believe that the money they invest in something is going to somehow make it better. And so with all that and the seriousness, I really love watching these people get exposed. So what I found for us was about a 19-minute video of that, of just people being exposed. Sylvia Brown. We all know Sylvia Brown. If you don't, you haven't been in the psychic world. This is one of the most famous mediums in all of history.
All right. Well, without further ado,
let's see how she does on Montel.
I lost my boyfriend tragically a few years ago. They never found him. And I've had such a hard time since, every day.
The reason why you didn't find him is because he's in water. And find him in water, it's like the girl that's missing in Aruba. You can't find somebody.
Well, it was September 11th. He was a fireman, but.
Wow. Look, so I'm gonna break this down Troy Aikman style. I lost my husband, they can't find him. Water's a good way to go. I watch way too much true crime, as you've seen from my episodes of put them in water. It's a good chance they'll get lost, right? They get washed out, they do whatever. So Sylvia Brown took the path of high, and she's like, you'll never find him. He's in water.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now, how does she recover from this?
Play on.
Well, no. See, I keep seeing him in water. Is there any way he could have drowned in water?
She just doubles
down. They never found a piece of him. Nothing.
From 9/11.
Montel, from 9/11.
Because he says he couldn't breathe and he was filled with water. Well, if they were trying to put the fire out, Montel.
They could have, yeah.
No, they won't find him. But, honey, that's okay because it doesn't matter if they find him or not. He's still over there.
Sylvia's answer is he got drowned when they were trying to put the fire out in 9/11.
That's where my thought went. It's like I guess there's the only way you can say,
bro. And as we continue to go, what I'm amazed at is the amount of steadfast bullshit that they all stick with. She's like, "Well, honey, it doesn't matter."
It doesn't matter, right?
Montel goes on 9/11. She goes, "Well, if they were putting the fire out, like somebody just lined up and shot him in the mouth with water." Dude, it's so cringe and awful. This one is fantastic as well. Let's roll with this lady. She's just.
So we decided to see what would happen when we asked a psychic detective to help solve a missing persons case. Posing as the distraught brother of a missing child, we sent our producer, Charlie
So this is a setup, right?
Oh, yeah. This is like those behind-the-scenes setup things. They're like, let's see what we can do with this.
Gotcha.
Meet with Lori McQuarrie.
Hi, how are you? Very nice to meet you, Lori.
We showed her a photo of this missing girl, and she agreed to take the case for $400.
But I think it's solvable.
But what Lori didn't know was that the photo our producer gave her was actually a childhood photo of me. And obviously, I'm very much alive.
I don't believe she's alive. I'm sorry. I believe that it was a violent passing.
McQuarrie's sixth sense told her the girl was brutally murdered and sexually assaulted.
Jesus!
What the fuck? That's what I'm saying. This person is hurting.
She had to add the sexually assaulted
yes,
in there too?
You're not even a decent enough human being that you say she died painlessly. You have to say she was abducted and sexually assaulted. You horrible human. Holy shit. Oh my God, dude. This is and look, here's the deal. If somebody's coming to you with a case like that and you're that bitch, you can get away with it because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be solved. Right? Nobody's going to find them. Nobody's going to prove you wrong. It's just, oh my God. Can you imagine?
You want to know why I'm going to hell already
yes.
in this episode? The very first lady, I got to say it. maybe I'll cut it out of the episode. The very first thing I thought was, if you lived in New York City and you really wanted to disappear, 9/11 was a good way to be like, he gone.
Wouldn't that have been a better path
Start a new
to
life.
take? Wouldn't that have been a better path to take, though? Because then you would have given the grieving, awful wife hope that maybe he's alive somewhere with amnesia, like in some fucking soap opera sitcom.
He's alive. He really fucking hates you. And
Right.
He
He
died.
lost his memory and wandered away. At least she has hope. This chick goes straight to like it was violent and she was sexually assaulted.
Sexually assaulted child.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Jeff. Oh, it gets better.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're not even done with this lady. I can tell from the chapter.
No.
She was hit in the head with a rock.
But her visions didn't end there.
I think she can be brought home.
Pointing to a remote spot on this map, she even said she could help bring her body home.
It may be even a mile or two from there.
The next day, McQuarrie sat down for an interview with me to talk about the work of psychic detectives.
I just had a gentleman in yesterday. 30 years ago, his sister disappeared.
And she's talking to the disappeared sister, right? Okay.
She soon began talking about a recent case, but clearly her psychic abilities didn't tell her that I was the girl in the picture.
One of the first things I do in a case, Lisa, is I always...
Now, was Lisa sexually assaulted and hit in the head with a rocket?
Believe it or not, Jeff, I think our psychic might ask that question.
Oh my God!
People know that if I feel the person is living
I thought I
or
was
not.
being
So
funny.
you'll always know
Yes.
when you talk to a family member, when you
Always
start a
know.
case, you'll know if this person is dead or
Yes.
alive.
And that's the point, is that
Every time.
Yes.
But apparently her psychic abilities didn't see this coming.
Lori, I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Does this girl look familiar to you?
Yes, she does. I worked this case.
This
I
is a
worked
girl
this case.
who
This
you
case.
said was beaten and killed.
Okay.
This little girl is me. And you told somebody that she's dead.
Wait a minute. You didn't disappear?
I'm right here.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
How do you explain being
That's
completely wrong?
interesting, isn't
I can't
it?
explain it.
You're charging them hundreds of dollars.
You know what, dear? I
Hundreds
think
of
we're done.
dollars.
I
You're
think
taking
we're done.
advantage
Yeah, I
of
think
desperate
we are.
people with a bunch
I
of hocus
really think
pocus,
we
aren't
are.
you?
No, I'm not. I think we'll go. Thank you. It's been an interesting experience.
It's been an interesting experience. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm reminded, and I don't want to throw shade because it was a very nice lady, but I had a psychic very early on in my podcast. And I'm trying to remember, I think she called me Mike the whole time.
Makes sense.
I'm like, you can read my mind. Can't you tell I'm getting miffed that you don't even know my name? Like,
look, carnies are fucking con artists. And I
Yeah.
can appreciate that because they understand that people came to the midway. They want to play a game. You're conning them on the game, but it's all in fun, you know? They want to throw some money. They win the big stuffed teddy bear, whatever it may be. So carnies, you're my kind of con artist. I got you. We're good.
as long as you stay away from kids.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's usually the parents that get the brunt of that shit, right?
Right.
Where the basketball doesn't even fit in the net.
Right.
But
You go to the side and you see the rim and you're like, that doesn't even work.
you're like, no, there's no chance on this. But these people who knowingly, like, that is a special kind of evil, dude. I am a guy who lives in I don't live in black and white. If people talk to me, I live in gray. There's some good in everything. There's some bad in everything. And there's a gray, right? But there is an absolute fucking black. And that is when you know somebody is hurting and in pain, and you take advantage of that knowingly, that all they want is a little bit of comfort, and you bullshit them for that comfort. It is so horrendous. That is the worst kind of worst, dude. So I had a buddy of mine. In fairness, his marriage was probably already ending, but it was going down that path. And he had a wife that, maybe he should have gotten to know her, but she believed in psychics. And he decided the way to settle this argument of psychics and non-psychics was to go to a psychic together. And all he did was yes the psychic the entire time. And the psychic was giving him all of this reading, and he just kept nodding and agreeing. And she was so far off base. She was like, you're an only child. He's one of 4. Your dad left you. His dad's still in his life. And he's like, oh my God, yes. And the psychic just kept running with it. And God love him. He's a dude who cared more about being right than he cared about his marriage.
Right.
Because he rode that shit all the way to the end. And it literally was a breaking point in their relationship where he was like, I showed you. How stupid are you? Right? Like,
and she became a magician and served him the divorce papers.
Then she disappeared.
It's not always best to be right.
No, there's a big difference between being right and being okay. What I love with this is the amazement. Again, as a sales guy, I've been known to throw some bullshit. What I love is her response. She goes, huh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's pretty fucking interesting that you just said that I got bashed in the head with a rock and sexually assaulted. She's like, you never got abducted?
Hey,
no.
Yes, I just crawled out of a hole in the woods and I came to interview you.
They just found me after they bashed my head in. Just the way they keep rolling on. But Jeff, this is what it comes down to too, is like, let's be a judge of society. I think you're a lot like me, that I think you and I both have a broad perspective. I don't think that either one of us are very cued into one thing, be it right or left, or this or that religion. We kind of understand there's a whole lot of shit in this world, right? But to find those people that prey on the areas of people who have that belief, it's sad. I have people in my life who very much don't know how to deal with grief. And if they can't get through grief, what better way than to have a psychic tell you that they talk to your mom, and your mom says she wants you to be okay, and your mom says she wants to do all of this. And it's this false prophecy that really fucks with me.
It's an interesting dilemma, I'll say. I've thought of it like some people, if you lost a parent, they went missing, there's a big differentiation between someone dying of old age or cancer or heart attack or just going all from your life. But if they're able to get closure, even if this person's bullshitting, is it bad because they're lying? It's like go to therapy.
It kind of is, and that's the argument. The argument from these fucking charlatans is that I give these people peace, and I give these people hope, and I give these people faith. But as many people as you give hope, peace, and faith, you also look a guy in the eye and tell him that his sister was bashed in the head with a rock and sexually assaulted when she's still alive.
Well, these people are obviously just... The first one was so absurd too. With it's in the water. It's in the water. Like,
Montel.
What?
It's the understated comedy.
Blown away by that too.
Right. The understated comedy. Montel was like, it was 9/11. She goes, well, didn't they use water to put out the fire? I mean, hell of a nice try, but like, so his firefighters,
they flooded him so much they couldn't recover his body. Even.
Oh Jesus, dude! All right, so let's keep rolling with these. It's
probably only going to get worse.
To a one-time Victorian chocolate factory where they all channeled the name George, an evil fat man who was the factory's first manager.
She's given me the name of George,
and I got the name George.
George. It was George. Yeah. The only trouble is that George is part of a made-up story that I planted on the chocolate factory website a week ago.
I feel like he was quite angry about something as well.
I think they might be cheating, and I'm curious to see if they'll repeat any more of my fake history.
It would be great if you could go into a trance.
Okay, I could probably go into semi-trance, but not a full trance.
George, did the horses hurt your legs? Yes or no?
As an improv actor, Jeff, you have to be impressed.
Astonishingly, Goldie has actually summoned the ghost of my made-up factory manager. Her deception is almost complete.
Oh,
You okay, Goldie?
sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
What I'd be really interested to get at this is some surnames, if possible, to try and kind of pinpoint these people.
Okay, she's giving me Bull,
What was
Dog, Bull, Dog.
So what's his name?
I've got George and I've got Bull.
Goldie's definitely researched my internet story.
Goldie, can I tell you something?
Yes.
All the things that you channeled today, like George Bull, the American manager.
Yeah, you're going to tell me that he's got nothing to do with it.
Well, I have to tell you, that all came from a story that I made up.
Oh, did it?
With the help of a parapsychologist. And we put that up on the website.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So how do you know all these facts?
A friend of a friend.
But I mean, are you still pretty certain about the George Bull thing?
I am, yeah.
I'll be honest. I chose the name Bull for a reason.
Because it's shit. Yeah, no, I'm psychic.
Oh,
I knew
fuck me.
that.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yes, because
I do it too.
Right, I did it because I'm psychic. You put bull and shit together and you're psychic. Way to double down, you horrible woman.
Oh my God.
My guy told me before I came here that I was going to be tested, and I said, fine, then we'll test one another.
You failed.
Does that mean that you cheated?
I did. For most of it.
How much proof did we get tonight?
You probably got about 30%. I think. Yeah.
At least she accepted it. Yes.
I don't think it was ever a chocolate factory.
That's the one thing it was, Goldie.
Was it?
You see, you even got the truth.
Yeah, I know.
Dude.
Thank you.
I've decided to show him the fake manager's portrait I planted
This is
earlier
good stuff.
that conveniently has the
I
name
love it.
plaque, George Bull.
I mean, this is like the mentalist kind of thing where they just have to observe really well and read people.
That's it.
Right? And they don't do a great job, but he's really making it too obvious.
Yes, but when you dig deeper, Jeff, that's what they do. Those people who do cold readings, right? When they'll start throwing out shit like, is it a name that begins with S?
Mm-hmm.
There's some stat that's like 70% of names in America begin with S. So you got a 70% chance as soon as you start. And then you try to tack it on. And it's all this vagary of shit that people who want to believe, people who want to feel healed, people who want to have closure will then open up to you. And you just take advantage of it.
Yeah.
George.
He's standing right in front of the name
Right.
plaque.
He's looking at the goddamn.
Do you know it's the initials of his second name?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Would it Bull?
It was.
That's what I got.
Oh, I got
This
that.
history that we got here is all made up.
That's made up. You sure?
Yeah.
You positive?
Yeah, I got
You
someone to
sure?
write that.
Check it.
I got someone to write and then put that on the Chocolate Factory website.
So where did I get Bull from then?
Well, I think probably
That's what
from the
I
name
want to know.
plaque on it. But
I didn't see name plaque. I can't see it because I need glasses.
I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
glasses.
In a moment, bells will chime.
My
It is the time
God.
for Raymond and I to
Fantastic.
initiate the final step of the linking process.
Mhm.
Everyone in the magic community hates Chris Angel, by the way.
Dude, he will redeem himself right here because this is where I mentioned you earlier, my man crush of James Randi. James Randi is most well known for just blowing Uri Geller out of the water, right? Like he went to everything Uri Geller ever did about bending spoons or doing anything else, and he blew it up. And Chris Angel is the closest I've seen to carrying this on. So let's go with Chris here. I'm a fan.
Oh, he's writing something. Okay.
The acting, Jeff. The
When the
acting.
tone sounds, the box will be open, breaking the connection between Raymond, the box, and myself.
I would say he's overacting.
A little bit, right? What's a car?
Raven. It's easier to read Raymond's writing in the mirror.
He's holding his back like it just really
It
works.
says metal, rectangle, 4 wheels. And I hope it gives you something to remember for the rest of your lives. I thank you.
Redemption, Chris.
I'll put my hand on your shoulder.
I can see you itching to say something here.
I just think it's comical, quite frankly. Before I even move ahead here, I'll invite Ori and your friend Raymond right now. I have 2 envelopes here. I will give you $1 million of my personal money right now if either one of you can tell me specific details of what's. Now, don't tell me about the energy or that it's not the right time,
man,
but just tell me what's in here right now. Tell me right now what's in the envelope.
I find you an ideological bigot. That's what I
find.
Ideological bigot.
Tell me what's in the envelope. Don't give me all this bullshit. Tell me what's in the envelope. Tell me what's in the envelope. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Tell me what's in the envelope. Right here. Listen to me.
Whoa.
I love it.
You're an ideological bigot.
An ideological bigot.
I'm surprised that politicians don't throw that around, by the way.
Oh, we're back to our beautiful lady who said that the man drowned on 9/11. Let's see how Sylvia does here. This bitch is well known, Jeff. Like, she has been like books
I've heard
and
the
TV
name,
shows.
yeah.
Yes. So let's see how she does here.
My daughter, Michelle, was 17 years old. She'll be gone 5 years, the 21st of this year. Sylvia, I don't know how she died. Please, if you can, how did she die? She was shot.
Oh.
Circumstances around her death?
Look at the dad's face.
She just collapsed in her room.
I don't know, but something looks like, because
They
it
have
looks
no-
like a combustion.
They found
in the
nothing on
chest.
the autopsy.
Yeah. She
I
was
don't
shot.
care, but it looks like something hit her in the chest.
They did an autopsy. They did drug. They do whatever
Everything.
they do. It's just she was a healthy child and
She was in her.
just fell out in her
Just
room. Just
went
fell
out.
like a
Yeah.
golf club's fall or whatever.
Was this before the COVID vaccine? I'm cutting that out.
Just went down.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
know, but there was something that hit her hard. But something sharp.
Did she play sports?
We dropped our psychics.
It's awful, dude. It's like
What a weird.
and-
She has so much goddamn confidence. I guess that's part of it.
Yeah. A part of it is like people will believe, like it's kind of like confidence in lies, right?
I guess that's
if
why
somebody
they call
tells
them
you
con
some
men,
shit,
confidence men.
con men,
yeah.
it makes sense now. So I love this next little episode that we're going to go into, Jeff. Like, this is the greatest ever. It's like just put simple tasks together to test psychics. So literally, they'll give you the breakdown, but they take like the top rated psychics in Australia and they drop them in the middle of the forest. And they go, there's a helicopter here. Find the helicopter.
Find it. Okay.
Yeah, you're psychic. Find the helicopter.
In the middle of a massive pine forest. There's a rescue chopper waiting for them. Our psychics have just 15 minutes to find the chopper. They've got a map that shows an outline of the area and then something belonging to the pilot. So a personal effect, keys, wallet, something like that. And then our psychics will use that to sense,
Do they get
the right
stranded if
direction.
they?
How did they do? Let's have a look. Here are the paths of all 10 psychics, as illustrated by the show. Only 4 actually found the helicopter. The rest of them just wandered around, pretending their psychic power was actually guiding them.
My guide said, go straight, go straight, go straight. Yep, over here.
Let's go, Angels.
Let's go,
Two
Angels.
of them actually came within viewing distance of the helicopter, but their special ability failed to clue them in.
I'll go with that. It's pulling me to the right.
Use your goddamn eyeballs, man.
I have a sense I got close, but I passed it.
You can see from the maps that most of them veer off to the right and get lost, rather than making a fairly straight path to the helicopter.
It's brilliant.
One psychic is supernaturally guided to the helicopter, and look what she finds.
I can see her. Oh no. That's a car. Terrible. Back to the start.
Remember, these aren't just any psychics, they are the top 10 in Australia.
Thank
This lovely picture in here. Oh, you up?
I mean, I'm very curious how they determine the top 10. In fairness,
Yeah, I don't know how you rate that, right? But it's. I love when there's simplicity that can expose so much bullshit, because that's really all it is, right?
At least, like a smart. If you're a scam artist, wouldn't you be smart enough to just be like, that's not one of my. I can't find your lost keys because I'm a psychic. I could,
Right. I would think of something in between it. And then if I'm hopefully a good enough con artist, I'm going to think like maybe straight in front of me is where I should be going. Like they're not going to screw this thing up all on the sides. But that's the thing. And I think that's what infuriates me more. And I keep talking about the people who are hurt and everything else. Like what infuriates me more is like, this isn't difficult. Jeff, you or I could be a psychic tomorrow, and there would be people that would show up and pay us money to read their palm or their future, and nobody's holding you accountable. You could easily in Tampa, down on the Riverwalk, there's a nice little place. Like you could set up a booth and start offering fucking psychic readings for $20. And if 100 people walk by in a day, 10, 15, 20 of those people are going to pay you for a psychic reading. And if you're wrong, so what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what fucks with me, man. There's no accountability. So I love watching these things where there's like a level of accountability put in front of somebody.
Yeah. You actually got it on video. And
right.
I made a YouTube show.
Hello, darling. Hello, is this something called the barn? Is his name Bernard or Barnard? No. Why would he say that?
Why would he say that?
Oh, your nan. Sorry.
With these.
By the way, I even could tell that was a woman.
Right, but again, it's that broad scope of shit. And there's, again, I told you I got sucked down the rabbit hole. So when you watch this deeper, you understand and realize that there's a method to the madness. Like there are people that just shotgun shit, right? They just throw stuff out. If you ever realize that when you see any of these psychic readings, they're like, is there a John, a James, a Jim, a Joe, a blah, blah. You're throwing out like 20 names in a crowd of, 200 people, 300 people. John, Joe, James, Jim. Somebody's going to react to that.
Something that starts with J.
Right. Something is going to react to that. And when you do, you go to it and you go, oh, it's a guy's name. So let's go with cars, boats, fishing, right? Because guy. Oh, he loved cars. He loved boats. He loved whatever. And somebody else is
I don't like any of those three things.
Me either. So they'd be fucked.
Big boats are cool, not small.
But it's all a shotgun into narrowing something into people who want to believe.
He was a big fan of the local sports teams.
Right. Oh, he really loved baseball. And you're like, oh my God, my granddad loved. You're like, yeah, I was right.
He played baseball for a year in high school.
Right. He played t-ball one time.
Yeah.
Right. It's ridiculous, dude. So let's keep rolling with them.
Into a clairvoyant he saw advertised in his local newspaper. It began with a $60 card reading.
Oh, she told me that I had a curse put on by someone in the family.
The good news for Paul was she could help at a price.
Thank God.
First, there was the rock in a glass of salty water, $1,000. To remove a curse on the family dog, $700. Droplets of liquid around the boundary of the house, $900. The cash continued to flow. Finally, she orchestrated a special ceremony involving a bath. The water bottled and sent overseas for prayer by a psychic higher order. But cleansing the soul doesn't come cheap. $18,000 in cash.
The fuck?
And
This
how many times-
motherfucker in the Indiana Jones hat paid for that.
A few times, probably about 3 or 4 times.
I mean,
3 or 4 times.
Paul had drained the family bank account and handed over $52,000.
They told me not to tell anybody because if you tell,
Jeremiah, as a salesman,
yes,
at a certain point, it's the buyer's responsibility to not be an idiot.
100%. But as Indiana Jones is getting ready to tell us here, this is the greatest part. He goes, "They told me not to tell anybody, or it wouldn't come true." Like, holy shit! I mean,
like blowing up birthday candles.
Finally, realizing he'd been scammed, Paul called Alana to get his money back. But there would be no refund, and soon there was no psychic. Alana packed up and then vanished.
He doesn't deserve a refund.
No, he really doesn't.
I'm a clairvoyant.
A very dodgy one, aren't you?
No, it's good. I ain't been on no run.
You changed your name, your number,
I haven't changed my
and
name.
your address every
Wrong.
few months. You used to be Alana, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
My face goes on the air. I'm going to sue every one of you.
You
That's
can sue
right.
us, but guess what? The game's up.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
$18,000. You fill the bath up with water, and you charge him $18,000.
Okay?
Do you know Paul?
No, I don't. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Do you remember filling the bath up with water and charging $18,000?
Well, we're back with medium James Van.
This would be really bad if the reporter is actually harassing the wrong person. By the way,
would be, but like, so now I'm gonna go to like flip halfway to the dark side. I told you I don't believe in black and white. There's gray. If you are a salesman and like Indiana Jones walks into you and you're wondering, you're like, well, here's the deal. You got a curse on your family. Like, it's going to cost you like 18 grand to take care of it. Indiana Jones goes, done. You're like, okay, let me go ahead and take care of that for you. And then the conversation that night might be like, Betty would have paid 30. Oh, it didn't work. So, oh my God, we got to go to another 12. And Indiana Jones goes, okay. I mean, there is a personable, like there's an accountability that has to be made from the buyer, right? Yeah. This guy, I have very little remorse for because he's not about loss. He just thinks there's a curse on his family because he's got some shitty luck.
Yeah, he's just an idiot.
Yeah, he's just an idiot.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic with. I've never been in sales, but the honest ones versus the used car salesman who tries to just bend you over the hood of the car and take everything he can from you. Mm-hmm. Even guy, I don't know if this guy's not even a salesman, but I had a mouse chew a hole through my dryer vent and was torturing me. This past Wednesday, I got no sleep. I thought I probably chased it out through the dryer vent again. The next morning, I call. He's like, did you clean up last night? Because mice just shit every 3 steps.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And he's like, don't clean up today. I'll be out tomorrow morning. He's like, it's a $55 service fee. And that comes off whatever service we do. So he shows up. He looks around my house. He's like, I think you chased it out. You sealed it. You got to replace the dryer vent. He's like, that's the only place. He walked around the house. He looked at everything. He's like, yeah. He's like, you should get glue traps. I'm like, they're arriving today. I already ordered them. He's like, I can't charge you any money because I can't replace your dryer vent for you. you've taken care of the problem. I'm happy to give some advice. He's like, here's my card if there's any issues, but didn't charge me a dime. And the guy had to come out to my house. He spent at least 30 minutes at my house, maybe 20.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm like, well, this guy, I will save his card. Hopefully I'll never have to call him, but anyone in the world who ever wants to, I'm going to refer. So it's one of those things where it's like, he could have easily been like, we're going to do this, 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 and this. We're going to set these traps around your house and do this and all this. And you still have to, replace your dryer vent. And it's going to cost $400. And I probably would have said, all right, fuck it. I really want, I can't stand the idea of this thing being in my house or, and it would have been a scam, but he would have made, I don't know if he works on commission.
Oh, sure he does. But here's that's the kind of guy I want to hire. I want those guys to sell for me. I do home improvements and I work in an industry where whether it be heating and air conditioning, it'd be basement waterproofing, whatever it may be, that there are guys who will play up on shit, right? They'll see a little discoloration somewhere and tell the people it's mold and you got to do this and you got to do that. Like I hate those guys because here's the deal. Sales guys like myself, I've been in this industry for over 20 years in home improvement sales. We're not all dirty. We're not all nasty. It can be done correctly, right? And such as what we're talking about here, it can be done correctly. You can give comfort without hooking them for more shit, right? Like this chick who's charging somebody 15 grand for bath water on some other bullshit. Like you don't have to do that. And so, dude, I've been in situations where I could have easily tripled my sale. Easily. And they would have known no better. But I got a 7-year-old son, dude. The flashback to the dads. Like I have a kid. I have somebody that wants to at some point look up to what I do. And so people who can't feel that, that's where I went back to the very beginning. There's a special level of hell for these people who realize they're in so much pain. They need answers. They have deep pockets. We're just going to keep bleeding it. Right. Yeah. That is it's a special level of evil, dude. I don't even know how you get further than that. I really don't. They're telling this guy that his whole family's going to get cursed. Okay. Shame on him. They're like, well, he said if I told my family, the curse would get worse. Shit, dude. Jesus. Yeah. I mean, some of it is on him, Well,
a lot, because here's the thing with that guy. He's gonna fall for it from somebody. So I can kind of understand
somebody's taking his money.
Someone's taking his money. Why not me? I could use a new car, or what
I mean? Right. No, I get that. But at the end of the night, are you not going to sleep being like, dude, I really hope Jeff doesn't tell his wife about the money he gave me? Like, how do you sleep? Because don't tell anybody or the curse gets worse. Like,
yeah, that's just
Jesus, dude. So there just needs to be, I won't say skepticism, but fuck it, maybe it is skepticism. There needs to be a skepticism in what you do in life. Understand that nobody is offering you anything just for you. There's something in it for them. No matter who offers you this. If the car wash offers you a special for $5, it's because they want to get more car washes that day, and $5 equals more money. Don't think that anything is special to you. Like they understand and look at what's in it for them, right? And when you lose that, you're just a mark. I mean, it is what it is.
No, you're right. Let's watch this last
Let's
one.
roll them through.
I've got
this is great too. This fucking guy
who has had us fascinated all morning about the world of ghosts and the unknown. And we're going to throw it open to you with our studio audience now. Take it away and see what you can see.
Okay, sweetheart, great. I'd like to start with this lady right here who's sitting right in the first row. I have a mother figure, very strong, coming around you, okay? And with the name of either Mary, Margaret. Do you understand the name?
Mary Margaret.
Margaret Mary. Okay, Margaret Mary. And I got to tell you that I feel before she passes over, though, there's a lot of hard time to walk or hard time to get up and get things going. Do you understand that? And I feel some arthritis, by the way. There's a lot of arthritis and there's a bone problem.
No shit.
There's also
I've
something
got
with the back.
Yeah, old people never have that.
Pillow at the back of her, or is that you?
No.
No, that doesn't make
Nope.
sense to you. And what about trouble with legs?
No.
Okay.
Nope, no trouble with the legs.
Who has trouble with the legs now?
Well, my father's had
Crowd
2 hip replacements.
2 hip replacements. He cannot walk as well as he
Choke
used
up,
to.
choke up.
Oh,
He's
no,
got to
he
make
walks
contact
very
now.
Okay. Right. Was your mother buried?
Yes.
Mhm. She's talking about being buried and about in a wake
50-50
or a
chance,
funeral,
right?
rather. And she knows about it. She was very surprised by it all. And who's Kathy or Kathy? Is there Catherine or Kathy?
Catherine,
Kathy. I also know who's Catholic, but there's someone who's Catholic background.
Catholic.
And,
You weren't
you
Kathy
all, okay.
and
So
the
there was a mass
Catholic.
said. George wants to thank you for a mass that was said.
Yeah. So the Kathy, oh, Catholic. You're Catholic.
Yes.
Maybe the
Dude.
fact that you look very Irish gives it away, huh?
Dude, that's shotgunning at its finest. He's just throwing a whole bunch of shit. And if you
Really
go back
quickly.
and research these, right? And if you go back and research these, there's a ton of videos where people who get caught in that then are like, oh, he said exactly about my mother and exactly about this. And they're like, actually, he said 14 names before it got to you, right? They don't remember that. They just remember that moment where they connected.
It's
And
like Jeremiah trying to hit a segue.
Yes! Fucking swing and a miss. Hopefully on strike 2, I catch it.
And there are prayer cards that are said. There's a picture of Mother Mary somewhere around. Picture of Mother Mary. Would you know about this? Do you know about this? Picture of Mother Mary.
Catholic to Mother Mary.
Mother Mary ran somewhere.
Good. Okay.
Yes,
Well, I
you
don't.
should, you know.
Of course, that was years ago.
That still goes on.
Yeah. So I want to talk about something else with you, though. I said music. I don't know why about music. Did you not do music? Were you good at
People
music
like
when you were
music.
younger and you stopped doing music?
No.
Okay. You never wanted to play the piano? No. Okay. Who was that one to play the piano or music?
Anyone?
Don't know.
Don't know.
No
Okay.
one in my family's
Okay.
musical.
I want to talk about this lady here. Your
That
husband
is-
passed over.
And then he
Your father
moved.
That is bizarre that no one in her family ever played music.
Dude, look, good on him that he took the shot that mattered, right? I mean, that was the layup. He was like, well, somebody like music. They're like, no. And he goes,
Nobody likes music in this family.
right.
Man.
And then he goes, so I'm going to move to this lady.
Yeah.
Because he caught out of the corner of her eye.
you
She
can't-
nodded on music.
You can't try to read the soul of a ginger because there's nothing there.
We don't have them. Spoiler alert, we don't have them.
We don't listen to music. Especially not soul music.
But dude, I mean, again, like literally, Jeff, you've done improv. I haven't. But I think if you put me in front of a crowd of 200 people, say 200, I could start spitfiring some shit that would hit with a quarter of that audience. And if that's a quarter of that audience, it's 50 fucking people, right? I could go, there's a John, a Jim, a James, a blah, blah. And somebody in 200 is going to go, yeah. You go, oh, he was a brother, a son, a cousin, a grandfather. You throw 4 or 5 options, you're going to hit.
Eventually, yeah.
Right. So that's what this is, but it's so crazy that people have this want and this need to have that closure and come to it, that these evil sons of bitches take advantage of it every day. Every day.
Let's see
what's
Fat
fat
Burt
ass?
Reynolds.
Yeah, let's go Fat Burt.
I don't know if he liked cars. There's no thing about cars. There's something about cars with him. I mean, told me about this, okay? I don't know if he just recently got a car or there was talk about getting a car.
He got a car.
Or changing a
He
car.
drives a car.
He got an oil
You know
change
the
on
cars?
car.
No.
Did
not
you just
really.
get a car or were there?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
for a couple of years.
Okay. Who had a heart problem?
Who had a heart problem? Fucking half of
possibly my
America.
mum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She's passed over as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Don't you know if there was heart situation before she passes?
I thought I was going to die of a heart attack one night in Costa Rica. So, I mean, I don't know.
Look, I love again. It goes to a dude, and what does he go to? He liked cars. There's a car.
Cars,
You
there's a
own a
car.
car.
Did he get a
Does
car?
somebody
Did he
have a
get a
car?
car?
Does somebody drive a car? We all drive a car, you son of a bitch. And they're like, no. He's like, well, it's
With
a
me,
heart
they'd be
problem.
like, well, he does like to take Ubers everywhere.
well, he has a heart problem. Like fucking so does 75% of America. But we check this shit out. Like, okay.
Yeah. Oof. I got to tell you, probably after the show, I got to tell you about the Uber I took last night.
Okay, and there's situations that she was going to either get an operation or a procedure done, something before that, okay? So I don't know if you know that she didn't get that. I also want to ask, I don't know who I'm with Teresa or Terry, but I am. Okay, I got to tell you that.
Sorry, what was you just saying?
Teresa or Terry.
Teresa?
Mm-hmm. Teresa or Terry. And was there a divorce with you? Never. You never married?
No.
Okay. I'm not
50%
surprised.
of the fucking
I'm not
US.
surprised because I want you to love yourself more.
I'm not
Because
surprised.
you don't.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's a great improv right there.
That
were you
is a
divorced?
good
Were
job.
You were never married? Oh, I'm not surprised.
Well, look, dude, that's why this guy is on a fucking national TV show, right? Because he's good at what he does. He's like, oh, were you married? They're like, no, I'm not surprised because you
should
need
love
to
yourself.
love yourself more. Like, oh shit.
He could
My
be an
guy-
auctioneer with help.
Yes. Just fucking rapid fire.
I also want you, there's something
Yeah. It's fast.
It's unbelievable. I see how people
about the
fall
car
for
here
it.
with your father.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm talking about a car here. I don't know what it means. If you're just getting a new
Back then,
car,
car.
you got a new car, there's something with that, okay? I got to tell you that. I'm going to come over here to this lady. Are we almost close?
We're nearly there, just to see if you could feel anyone.
Your
else
husband
around
passed
you.
over, correct? Do you have his ring or his watch also? Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Thank you. Just tell me that in my head, okay? So you're very open. I want to talk about a picture that you had redone
you're
of
very
him
open. It's
after he
not his
passed
fault.
over, or you moved the picture of him, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I also want to tell you that he's sitting right next to you on that. I don't know if you call it the couch. Do you call it the couch or the settee? But he's sitting there with you. He smoked cigarettes, did he? No, who's smoking the cigarettes? Are you smoking cigarettes?
Yes.
Would you please stop? Because he's there in the settee with you smoking the cigarettes. He's smoking
genius
cigarettes, okay? And I don't know
This
who Paul is, or
motherfucker.
Paulie, or Paula. The name Paul. You understand that?
Paula,
Yes. Who is that, please?
friend.
Okay. He wants to say hello or thank you to them because they helped when he died. They were there. They were here. They were around. You don't know that.
No,
Please
that's
thank James and Prague for prompting some interesting questions.
Thank you.
Hats off to bullshit guy like Tom Selleck, fat Tom Selleck. When he's like, do you smoke or did he smoke? No. Do you smoke? Yes. Okay, it makes sense. Stop. Like, oh fuck, dude. He had an angle. He had an answer on each end.
He had an answer for everything.
But at the end of the day, can we just please like understand there's always an answer, dude. If you ask alternate choice questions and open-ended questions, all it takes is a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of skill to navigate that. It sucks when you lose people, dude. It's an awful, hurtful feeling when someone close to you has passed on. And I don't care who you are and what you did and what you said on their deathbed, you are always going to have that feeling of, I should have said.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have. I wish I could have explained. The evil motherfuckers who take advantage of that are the worst of the worst. They really are. Like, understand that when it's done, it's done. It is what it is. Appreciate it. But on the side note of that, and maybe because it's the dads and drinks and we've had a couple drinks, don't leave shit unsaid. Don't pretend that tomorrow is going to exist. Don't always assume that you're going to give that chance. So say what you want to say. You know, let people know how you feel. And don't be afraid of that because you never know when you won't have that chance again, or somebody's going to charge you $1,800 to run a goddamn bath with a goddamn crystal in it and charge you for it. Like, just don't let it be there, man.
Yeah, no. Well said. There's much video of people dropping me off at my house, and you know, when they leave, you know, I got cameras all over, and I'm just trying to find out when I went to bed the night before. I hug so many people and say I love you, friends, family, whatever, and it's like, well, good. I may not remember it, but at least I said it. Never know what's going to happen, but I've had a lot of confused Uber drivers.
I'm sure you have. Look, I'm going to go to this. Like, in a little side note of whatever it is, dude, I've dealt with a bunch of crazy shit in my life, and you deal with whatever it may be, with regrets or whatever it may be. Here's the deal, man. Don't let pride stand in the way of you letting people know how you feel. That's it. Let them know and be honest and open about that. There's no shame in it, right? Even if they don't feel how you feel, it's not a shame to let them know how you feel. Because at the end of the day, man, don't leave these cards uncovered, or else you're going to go get your fucking palm read by this cocksucker in Florida who's going to tell you that it's $900. I had to throw it to Florida, Jeff. I'm sorry. But if not, like, don't leave that shit out there, man, because we're all going to have it. Just be who you are. Be true to who you are. Be true to the people around you, because there are people in this world, good, bad, evil, whatever. These guys, to me, in my world, Jeff, I challenge you right now to find me a bigger devil than these bastards that we watch today, because they prey on people and their regrets and their loss and their sadness. And there are people who will do that daily. The only way to make sure you're safe, don't have regrets, don't have doubts, don't have sadness. Just be who you're truly supposed to fucking be and tell people how you feel. Like, these guys are fucking horrible. Sorry.
They're not great.
They're really bad. Like, one day we'll do an episode on the preachers who do the same shit. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, folks, our recommendation today is going to be real quick. It's the Dads and Drinks Show Clips channel.
Check it out.
And yeah, I'm not going to share this video. You got to go subscribe to see it. But I'll quickly show you. See, we've got
childlike wonder.
Oh, see,
how good,
Jeremiah, I thought you were talking. I'm like, hey, hold on, let me pause it.
Nope.
You weren't
Let
talking.
him go.
Yeah, so look, this is a thing right here. You see up top, cutting room floor.
Oh.
This is a great clip in our episode that you've already seen.
Dude.
Did not make the episode because, well, frankly, Jeremiah's question was so off topic, and we had to cut it down. So it wasn't a bad question. It was a great conversation piece, but I had to cut like 16 minutes from this episode.
Yes.
And the easiest low-hanging fruit is 5.5 minutes that have nothing to do with the topic.
Nothing. Look, I'm just saying, if you've ever wondered what Jeff and I would look like speaking to an absolute legitimate genius, tune in to watch the show. Yeah, last week's episod. That'll tell you.
Yeah. You know what? I edited it. We held our own enough. Now a lot of the dribs and drabs I was able to edit out were us just looking like,
yeah.
But hey, I'm like, look, 6 seconds here and there. That makes that I can get it under an hour. Speaking of,
Jeff, what I love is we found a way to get there, even if we didn't know the path we took. Sometimes we got to the answer, but the path made no sense. So follow your instincts, son.
If we tried to explain that to somebody today, neither one of us would get
nothing.
All right, folks. Subscribe to the Dads and Drinks Show Clips channel. Subscribe to this channel. And tell a friend. And we'll see y'all next week on the
Dads and Drinks Show. Dads and Drinks Show. Dads and Drinks Show.